You ever have one of those nights that rearranges your whole understanding of people? The kind of night where you look at a stranger and think, there's no way our worlds should cross, and yet somehow, they do. This story starts on a cold Thursday evening when a tired single dad stayed late at work, and a powerful CEO stumbled into the street, crying, drunk, and seconds away from getting herself killed. What happened next was so unexpected that, the next morning, she nearly fired him for it, until she learned the truth. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to Truthlines USA, hit the like button, and drop a comment about a moment when someone showed you unexpected kindness. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these stories coming. The night started with the kind of wind that makes your face sting. Jack Miller, a 38-year-old single dad working as a late-shift janitor at a downtown office building, pulled his jacket tighter as he stepped outside. His daughter, Emma, was home with his sister, and he knew he'd have to tiptoe in later so he wouldn't wake her. Jack lived a simple life, work, home, raising his daughter, repeat. Some days were hard, money was tight, and the future felt fuzzy, but he loved his girl. She gave him purpose. He crossed the street toward the bus stop, thinking about the extra weekend shift he'd taken. He could already hear Emma complaining, "Dad, you work too much." She wasn't wrong, but life doesn't soften itself just because you're tired. As he waited for the bus, he noticed a woman stumbling along the sidewalk like her heels had minds of their own. At first, he assumed she was just another office employee leaving after happy hour. But then she stepped too close to the road, wobbling as headlights approached. Jack didn't think. He just moved. He lunged forward and pulled her back as a black SUV whooshed by, horn blaring. The woman gasped, lost her balance, and collapsed against him. "Whoa, hey, easy," Jack said, steadying her. She looked up at him, mascara streaked, eyes glassy. I'm fine," she slurred, though she clearly wasn't. "Just, leave me alone." Jack recognized her. Everyone in the building did. This was Avery Lane, CEO of Lane Tech Solutions, the kind of woman whose face was on magazines and business podcasts. Sharp. Ruthless. Untouchable. And very, very drunk. "Do you have someone who can come get you?" he asked gently. Avery scoffed, lips twisting. "Just walk away, idiot. I don't need help." But even as she said it, her legs buckled again. Jack caught her, gripping her arm so she wouldn't fall. "Ma'am, you almost got hit by a car." She blinked hard, as though trying to piece together what happened. I was just walking," she muttered. "Just needed air." Jack looked at her more closely, the trembling hands, the red nose, the way she seemed more sad than drunk. Something was breaking inside her. He felt that soft ache in his chest, the one you get when someone is hurting and doesn't know how to ask for help. The streets were nearly empty. The buses were running slow. And she was in no condition to make it home alone. "Look," he said slowly, "I'm not leaving you like this. Can I call someone? A friend? A driver?" Avery stared at him with confusion, as though she couldn't understand why he was still there. Why do you care?" Jack shrugged lightly. "Because you're a human being standing in the road at night. And you're clearly not okay." Her chin trembled. She looked away. For a moment, she didn't fight him. Jack helped her sit on the bench at the bus stop. Avery leaned her head into her hands. "I messed everything up," she whispered. "Everything?" Jack didn't pry. Years of raising a kid had taught him when to talk and when to just let someone breathe. After a minute, he said, "Is there someone I can call?" She hesitated, then fumbled with her phone. "Driver, names on speed dial." She handed the phone to him like it weighed too much. Jack called, explained the situation, and got confirmation someone was on the way. Avery slumped sideways, resting against the bus stop glass. The cold wind ruffled her hair, and he slipped off his jacket to drape over her shoulders. "You'll freeze," she mumbled. "I'm good," he said. "You're stupid," she murmured, though her voice held no heat. "You don't even know me." "True," Jack replied softly. "But you looked like someone who needed kindness. That's reason enough." Avery let out a shaky, almost broken laugh. "Kindness," she whispered. "Haven't heard that word in a long time." Her driver arrived 10 minutes later, a worried man who thanked Jack repeatedly. They got Avery safely into the car, but not before she turned to Jack with hazy eyes and whispered, "Thank you, whoever you are." She was gone. Jack figured that was the end of it. He took the late bus, got home around midnight, kissed his sleeping daughter's forehead, and collapsed into bed. His jacket was still missing, but he didn't care. The next morning, he walked into work tired but ready to push through. He had trash bins to empty, floors to mop, and restrooms to clean before layoffs, rumors of them, were supposed to start. That's when his supervisor marched toward him with a stiff expression. "Jack. CEO wants to see you. Now." Jack's heart dropped. Why would she want him? He followed his supervisor into a gleaming top-floor office with floor-to-ceiling windows. Avery Lane stood near her desk, hair pulled back in a tight bun, makeup flawless, expression colder than yesterday's wind. She looked like a completely different person. "Mr. Miller," she said sharply. "Is it true you were with me last night?" Jack swallowed. "Yes, ma'am." Her jaw tightened. "Did you touch me?" He blinked. Ma'am, I kept you from falling into traffic." "And then your driver." "That's not what I mean." Her tone was sharp enough to cut glass. "Did you go into my purse? Did you take anything? My assistant can't find my company credit card." Jack's stomach plummeted. "No. Absolutely not. I would never." "Why were you even near me?" she snapped. "Why not just walk away?" He felt heat rise in his face, not embarrassment, but hurt. Deep hurt. "Because you needed help," he said quietly. His supervisor shifted awkwardly behind him. Avery folded her arms. "And you expect me to believe you didn't take anything?" Something inside Jack cracked, not anger, but exhaustion. The exhaustion of a man who spent his life trying to be good in a world where good men sometimes get stepped on. "No," he said simply. "I don't expect you to believe anything. But I know what happened. I pulled you out of the road. You almost got hit. I called your driver. I gave you my jacket because you were freezing. That's all." She stared at him. For the first time, doubt flickered in her expression. There was a soft knock. Her assistant entered, face pale. "Ms. Lane. I found your card. It was at the restaurant. They never returned it to your wallet." Avery froze. Jack exhaled slowly. The assistant slipped out quietly, leaving the room in thick silence. Avery looked at him again, her eyes shifting, confusion, embarrassment, then something softer. "Mr. Miller." "Jack. I'm sorry." He nodded politely. "No harm done, ma'am." But something had been done. And she seemed to realize it too. She took a hesitant step closer. "Last night. I wasn't myself." "You were hurting," Jack said. "It happens." She swallowed. "You didn't have to help me." "I know. But you did anyway." He shrugged gently. "That's kind of the point of helping someone." Avery's eyes glistened, barely, but enough. "Do you still want your jacket?" she asked quietly. He chuckled. "Honestly, it's probably gone." She walked to a side chair and picked up a neatly folded jacket, his jacket. Clean. Pressed. Like it had been treated with more dignity than he had. "I had it cleaned," she said. Jack took it, surprised by the simple gesture. Then Avery said something that made him blink. "Come back after your shift. I want to talk." He didn't know what that meant, but he nodded. Hours later, he returned to her office. Avery wasn't the cold, polished CEO from the morning. She sat on the edge of her desk with her hands folded. "I want to thank you," she said. "Properly." He shook his head. "You don't owe me anything." "I disagree." She took a slow breath. "I haven't been doing well. Personally. I've been pushing myself to the breaking point. You saw me at my lowest. And instead of walking away, you protected me." Jack softened. "Everyone needs a little grace sometimes." She smiled weakly. "You believe in kindness like it's a duty." I believe in how I want the world to treat my daughter, he said.